But in any case, do not be deceived. Senate Bill 1867 is the most dangerous bill since the Patriot Act. Now, they wrap these horrible pieces of legislation in the flag and mom and apple pie by calling it the Patriot Act. If you don't buy into this stuff here, you just ain't a patriot, are you? You're with them there terrorists. Well, Senate Bill 1867 is getting absolutely no coverage, no press, no nothing. As a matter of fact, it's part of the Defense Authorization Bill. This is something that Congress does every year. It's just a mess. What this bill does, basically, is it puts a target on the back of every American citizen that might hold a dissenting point of view. If you don't agree with the way the government is doing something, you could be branded a terrorist. If you're an anti-war activist, you could be branded a terrorist. If you're not happy about the fact that Wall Street and the top 1% of the population in the United States seems to have a lot more influence on the government than the 99% of the rest of us, you might be a terrorist. If you hold dear the rights afforded you as an American under the Constitution, you might be a terrorist. And under Senate Bill 1867, not only is posse comitatus thrown out the window. Posse comitatus was the law that was passed after the Civil War that said the military of the United States government will never be used on U.S. soil again. Period. Okay? Well, that's out the window. That was tossed out under the Bush administration. Now, not only can the military be used on U.S. soil against U.S. citizens, but if they decide that you look like a terrorist, or if our illustrious intelligentsia, our intelligence community, decides that you sort of look like a terrorist, you can be detained in a military detention camp with no charges placed against you, no right to an attorney. As a matter of fact, they might even haul your ass out of the continental United States and drop you someplace in North Africa or someplace in Eastern Europe or someplace where, sensitivities about torture are not quite as severe as they are here in the United States. And you ain't entitled to no phone call. You ain't entitled to no legal counsel. You ain't entitled to nothing because some pencil neck bureaucrat decided that you sort of look like a terrorist. Well, who the hell would support such nonsense? Well, strangely enough, both sides of the aisle. Senator John from Another Planet McCain is one of the big supporters of this. The senator from Tel Aviv, this guy Lieberman, he's a big supporter of it. Then you got guys like, Rand Paul just absolutely going berserk, saying, wait a minute, this is not what we were sent here to do. The people who elected us would not approve, and he's being shushed. The interesting thing is that, this kind of nonsense is making its way through our Congress without any challenge at all from the media. About the only media type who's recognizable, who has said anything about it, is Judge Napolitano. He's got a TV show on one of the big networks. This is some of what Napolitano had to say. I'm going to go ahead and read a portion of this. Can the president use the military to arrest anyone he wants? Keep that person away from a judge and jury and lock him up for as long as he wants? In the Senate's dark and terrifying vision of the Constitution, he can. Congress is supposed to work in public. The requirement is in the Constitution. It is there because the folks who wrote the Constitution had suffered long and hard under the British Privy Council, a secret group that advised the king and ran his government. We know from the now defunct Super Committee and other times when Congress has locked its doors that government loves secrecy and hates transparency. Transparency forces the government to answer to us. Secrecy lets it steal our liberty and our property behind our backs. Last week, while our minds were on family and turkey and football, the Senate Armed Services Committee decided to meet in secret. So behind closed doors, it drafted an amendment to a bill appropriating money for the Pentagon. The amendment would permit the president to use the military for law enforcement purposes within the United States. This, of course, would represent a radical departure from any use to which the military has been put in the memory of any Americans now living. Yeah, no question about it. That there is bullshit. The bullshit meter just hit man the lifeboats. Are you pissed off yet?